Hello, and welcome to the extra episode of Higurashi When They Cry Watanagashi, where we will be doing the all-cast review session, which is kind of, where the characters break character and act more like they're actors performing this, piece for you. And they will discuss they will most likely discuss the events and what their theories are in character. After that, I will discuss my own thoughts and feelings about Watanagashi itself. But let's start with the all-cast review session.
Thank you very much for enjoying Higurashi When They Cry Watanagashi. How did you like the story this time? If you enjoyed it even a little, I'm happy.
A little nothing. Not again. It was a huge bad ending again, was it not? It is even enough to make me simply furious.
I'm furious.
Well, good work, everyone. That's how it ended, but don't you think this story was kind of like a Mion chapter? I'm extremely satisfied with how big a role I played.
You can't call such a thing a success. Rika and I got killed too, didn't we?
None of this concerned Satoko at all, either.
I didn't want to die like that.
No, don't cry. There's a story centering around Mi-chan, so there'll probably be one that centers around Satoko-chan too. Look forward to it. Satoko would definitely get attacked by a crowd of weirdo bullies and abused to death.
I don't want that.
Mi-chan! If you joke around too much, you'll make me angry too!
Mi has a flat chest. Your mind wouldn't even understand it if it wanted to be petted.
Oh, they expanded. Your body is so unchaste.
Hey everyone! Great work!
Sorry we're late again.
Toмотaki-san, Iwashi-san! Yes, you did a great job as well. Where's Takano-san and Shion-chan?
They're coming, of course. Thank you for inviting us today. May I sit here?
Yes, go right ahead.
With all of us here, this is sure to be the best part. Please, go easy on me. Then, should we get started? Is this everyone?
Everyone but Kiachi.
Which means Matabara-kun still doesn't have a portrait. So, are we gonna read the scripts for the next story immediately? How unfortunate. It doesn't feel right to leave him out.
Mio-san, you don't have to worry about that. At times like these, going all out is actually a way of showing consideration.
That's true, isn't it? We're all here for once. Holding a wake would be boring.
Then, sorry Kiachi-kun, but we'll take things from here.
It's decided. Okay, everyone, get the cups. Does anyone not like carbonated drinks? There's alcohol for adults, too.
Rika-chan, what will you have? Cola? Juice? Me, I want what Tamataki's having.
Hey! Rika-chan, you're not allowed to drink!
Has everyone got their cups? If we don't make a toast soon, my juice will get warm.
Who will lead, Mion?
Rena should do it. Okay, Rena, go ahead. Then, everyone, excellent work. The Watanagashi chapter is now over. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wah, clap, clap, clap. I'm assuming that's just everyone doing it.
Okay, everyone is here. Should we debate the story again?
I think so. Then let's get some honest opinions. Does anyone here have something to say?
Sorry, adjusting my seating position.
In honest opinion, was the story this time not an answer chapter? The criminal was Mion-san. The root of all the evil was the Sonozaki family. Was that not the conclusion?
I see. I was so sure that Mi-chan wasn't the criminal.
Too naive. This was entirely predictable from the previous Okanikushi chapter, was it not? In fact, it's almost shocking how predictable it was.
You're right. It probably did align with most of the predictions made by players of the previous scenario.
It's like the story went exactly as everyone expected.
Then, does that mean the main Higurashi when they cry scenario is pretty much over? So, it's a sure thing that the root of everything was Mion-chan's family.
I wonder.
In fact, I think it's that all this means that the theory that
God, her voice is kind of weird to do.
In fact, I think it's all this means is that the theory of the Sonozaki family being guilty, the guilty party, has been disproven.
Oh.
Wow, holy God.
Oh? You had some opinion, Mion-san. I think it the same way, though I still don't believe in curses. At the very least, however, I think the chances of the Sonozaki family being the true criminals has gone down. Huh? Why is that? Didn't Mion-chan confess that she killed everyone?
That's right. She killed Rika and me, so what do you mean that she isn't the criminal after that?
I'm not trying to confuse you or anything, it's just that I think there were a lot of things that didn't go along with Mion being the one behind everything. If you think about it a little, you'll get it.
Huh. I had believed the truth to be more or less in the line with the Sonozaki family theory. But I'd love to hear your theory, Mion-chan.
Then hear me out. Near the end, I confessed that I'd participated in the past incidents, right? I thought something wasn't really right about that, so I guess that's my bias. I mean, think about it. If the incidents of the past were caused by the Sonozaki family, that'd be crazy. I mean, wouldn't they all be perfect crimes? They were all attributed to other criminals or simply accidents, after all.
Well, that's right. The Sonozaki family is very powerful, and they were acting behind the scenes. Wouldn't pulling off perfect crimes be child's play for them?
That's just it. That's the weird thing. The Sonozaki family has been killing and erasing people so well for the last 4 years, they didn't even let out a hint that they were behind it, right? But the incident in the 5th year, now that was really cheap. They were killing and erasing people at random. Any idiot could have seen the connection with the Sonozaki family. Now that I think about it, you're right. The incidents in the past were all mysterious and nobody could tell if they were because of the curse or just simple crimes. But then on the 5th year, they suddenly got really violent.
I do not understand what you are saying. Rika, do you?
She means that if the Sonozaki family were the real criminals, then they would have done a much better job with the incident on the 5th year.
So, what does that mean? Mion-san wasn't the one who killed Rika and me, but it was the work of a demon who possessed Mion-san? Come now. Just like I thought last time, Mion-san wasn't a bad person after all, was she?
That's right! Satoko-chan and I both thought that she was doing bad things because she was possessed by something. Then, does that mean our theory was right?
Well, I've been supporting the curse theory since after the last party, and the story this time makes me all the more convinced that it's true. In fact, the fact revealed at the very end, the information regarding how Mion-san and Takano-san had died days before despite being witnessed seems to indeed support that theory.
Oh my. I see the cursed believers who seemed unconfident last time have grown quite a bit more self-assured. Do any of those who think it was a human have any objections? Last time, Mi-chan and Riko-chan were the ones who thought it was all the work of a person. Toмотaki-san did too, didn't he? Okay, let's hear what you've got then.
You've got me there. I can't quite find the right words. One of the pieces of evidence for the curse theory is the mismatching times of death, right? Well, so, if I could disprove that theory, it would prove that a human did it, didn't it? Wouldn't it? Oh my.
Oh, Shion, you have a good objection?
Well, I suppose. I have the same opinion as you, Mion, that it was a human, but I don't think the Sonozaki family were the main culprits either. If that's okay with you, I offer my objections.
Whoa! Show us what you've got. If you say it wasn't the curse, then let's hear your evidence.
Okay, Shion-chan. The last trick we've been talking about. Despite Mion-chan having died the day of the incident from falling down the well, how did she appear days later to kill you and Kiachi-kun?
Here it is, my Sonozaki sister's conspiracy theory. My reason is simple. If Mion was dead by that time, then the only one who could have stabbed Ki-chan was me. I disguised myself as Mion and stabbed him. Then I went back to my room, pretended to have a tussle with a ghost, and then jumped down and killed myself.
So, when you get down to it, Mion-chan is, in this case, would be the one to take the blame. She would take care of the mayor in person, and Shion-chan would be made to merely a victim. Yes. If she hid herself in that well, the disguised Shion-chan could show up where she pleased and murder whoever she wanted, all planned from the start.
Oh, I get it. Then Mion-san made two mistakes. First was that her corpse was found, and second was dying when she only planned to hide. That's what it would mean.
Oh, well now, you're right. There is something logical about that.
However, I am still not convinced. It was too different from the magnificent perfect crimes in the past. Even if their plan went well, Mion would end up the bad guy, wouldn't she? She would either have to hide the rest of her life or live pretending to be Shion, wouldn't she? That would be too constrained. You can't call that a perfect crime.
In other words, whether by dying or disappearing, me would have to go away. Rika-chan, that is a good thought. That means we should consider that Mion Sonozaki leaving the stage was part of their plan. That's why, at the end, Mion took the blame for all the incidents in the past. She took responsibility for all of them on herself, then left.
By doing that, she could cover up the true culprit behind the past incidents, which means that this incident wasn't shabby. Its purpose was meant to cement all the past incidents as perfect crimes. I suppose that's what it comes down to.
The young leader...
No. Like, totally, the young leader of the Sonozaki family, who is the biggest suspect, confessed to everything and then disappeared. For her, or perhaps the non-Sonozaki true culprit, there was likely no more favorable outcome.
I don't understand even an inch of your conversation. What do you mean by Mion-san taking the blame? Is she not the culprit?
Let me put it this way. The true culprit behind the serial freak death incidents was somebody else. Mi-chan gave a fake confession that she caused all of the previous incidents to protect that person, or so everyone is saying.
My. I said this during our story, but it seems we have an incredible detective on our hands. Yes, it seems to be a bit persuasive.
An incident started to throw off the scent of the true criminal. That's my reasoning. Though, if I go further, I think the true culprit isn't a part of the Sonozaki family. So it was Mion-chan disrupting the incident to further protect the mystery of the person who pulled off the perfect crimes 4 years running then? That's right. The site foreman only appeared in name in the last story. Pretty suspicious if you ask me.
Amazing. It really does all add up. Clap, clap, clap. I still think the Sonozaki family and the sisters are the culprits, though. An incident caused by the sisters to sever their old fetters to the three families to clear away the past. That's my theory.
Clearing away the past? You mean that they placed the blame for the three families' crimes on their final leader, Mion, to put an end to the dark history, and then the two of them left?
That's right. It would make a sad story where we sisters finally chose to end it after a lot of worry. We went a little too far. Amazing. It really does all add up. Clap, clap, clap.
Wait, what? It looks like Rika-chan has an opinion too. Go ahead, Rika-chan.
I have a question for you all. Why did Kiachi need to get stabbed?
We already know why that is, Rika. It's obviously because he went into the Forbidden Storehouse without asking.
Thinking back on it now, Tomotoki-kun and Takaino-san probably died in the previous story because they snuck into that storehouse, eh? That is rather strange indeed. Huh? What is it that's strange?
Renaissance, that's right. Won't you think back, please?
That's right. In the previous scenario, they were after Kiachi's life, even though he didn't sneak into the ritual storehouse.
Murmur. Well, that's because, yeah, Hamanazawa hates outsiders, right? That's why they tried to kill Kiachi-kun.
That would be strange, though. They should have attacked Ki-chan's parents, too, in that case. No matter how you look at it, though, his parents never seem to be in much danger. Either this time or the last.
Hear that? Everyone who thinks it was a human's doing. Unless you can properly explain the reason Kiachi-san's life was threatened, you can't definitively prove the crime was human, can you?
Even with the curse theory, however, we don't know why Mahabara-san was attacked this time or last time. With a little more, we would have had it. There was still a lot of mysteries remaining.
Well, we can find some kind of reason for everyone but Keiichi-kun to die, but for some strange reason, Keiichi-kun's death is always vague. Both this time and last time. He was being targeted regardless of whether he went into the ritual storehouse.
Then does that not mean he was doing something that got him killed both last time and this time?
I see. If we can find something in common about Mayabara-kun's actions between last time and this time, it seems like it would be the key to the unraveling all the incidents. I skimmed through the stories again, but I think he's going about his life in his own way. Though aside from the part with the storehouse, I didn't spot anything suspicious about his daily lifestyle. Keiichi-kun, what did you do both last time and this time? Something bad that would cause you to get killed. It's best to ask the person himself when you're unsure. So while I was reading the script for the next game all by myself, you were all talking about me behind my back, huh? I see. Well, that's that. Anyway, Keiichi-kun, you should try asking your own heart. Kei-chan, so what kind of bad things did you do that would get you killed?
It must surely be all the violent things he does towards me.
Squeezing my chest so tightly was surely a crime. Yeah. Being happy all day, surrounded by girls around his age, it's kind of like a crime in the first place.
A grave crime indeed. Mayabara-san is truly an envious main character, isn't he? Switch out with me once in a while, would ya?
Well, well, with all of these perks, getting stabbed at the end really isn't much of a price to pay.
Well, there you go, Keiichi-san. Have you remembered those crimes you've committed?
Gah! Both this time and last time, I lived a proper and just life, and I always meet a terrible fate in the end. What was it about Ask My Own Heart? What was that about Ask My Own Heart? I'm the one who wants to know! This is bullying! How sad, how sad. I'll pat your head next time for you. I wonder if we should go back and read Okanikushi again after reading this one. I'm going to put myself in my own shoes and read back over Watanagashi. Maybe I'll find something different compared to when I read it from Kei-chan's point of view.
I will always think it was the doing of a demon. All of the events and tricks can be explained with a demon.
It's kind of like plasma. What did you, the readers, think about it? We'd certainly like to hear your thoughts and opinions. Through the mail? Is there an address? Well, I guess you could just, leave it in the comment section below. Though, I don't know. That'd probably work. And that was the wrap-up. And I got an achievement for it, which means I have all the achievements for this game now. Even though that's not really that hard, you just kind of read it, and then you get all the achievements. Anyway, so, actually in that wrap-up, it kind of hinted on a couple of my own theories. Personally, one where kind of either Mion or Shion, I think it was probably Mion, went and switched out with Shion really quick and threw Shion down the well. Though,
Well, they never said that the body they found of Mion down the well was fully clothed, so I don't know. Either way, like, it would be super easy in that instance where the police are busting in for Mion to tase Kiachi, grab Shion, and, like, throw her down the well. Because, I mean, just because it took the police forever to find the well doesn't mean that Mion couldn't go there really fast and do that. Because I don't really prescribe to the stories thing of, like, oh, she must have slipped down the well and fell and died because she was using it as an exit. She seemed far too competent for that to just be like, oh, I'm climbing down a ladder and oops, I slipped and died. That doesn't make sense to me. Regardless of whether she was in a hurry, and it doesn't really make sense to me. The thing that really threw me for a loop at the end of the last part there, which is kind of why I didn't really go into detail about my thoughts then, because it had me really, it was kind of like that last minute wrench thrown into the gear works, because I thought I had something going, and then they're like, oh, Takano-san was apparently dead for days, and who was that person who led them into the storehouse in the first place? That made literally no sense to me. It kind of prescribes to the demon theory if you assume that demons can literally possess dead bodies and bring them to life, which I think is something Mion was hinting at when Kiachi was on the torture chamber, because she's like, the next time you see me, it'll literally be the demon wearing my corpse. It'll be the demon wearing my corpse. And I think she meant that literally. Like, the demon can literally possess a dead body and have it up and walking around to, do whatever it wants. And that's kind of the thing. Like, when the demon possesses you, it slowly kills you off. And that's if the demon theory is true, which I kind of feel like it has a lot of merit. Though I also believe that the human being way kind of works, but like, they're kind of how they said in the review session, like, every single last incident was a perfect crime. Like no culprits were found, or they were labeled as accidents. And if there was someone truly behind every single one of those, that's way too many incidents for them all to be perfect crimes with literally no one being tracked down and caught. And it's hard to say if you can, like, oh, well, what about DNA tests and stuff like that? I believe, like, the setting for this game is a while ago, so I think it's before the prevalence of that kind of stuff, and I'm not entirely sure that stuff would really assist or would really be the defining difference maker in this story. But this story, at least at the end, pushed the demon theory really, really hard. Like, it was like, she is a completely different person. She kept on saying the word demon over and over and over again. Actually, no, yeah, Mion definitely said the word demon several times, because thinking back on it, I mean, Kiachi started screaming demon a lot, but Mion did say demon several times, and was in reference to that the demon thing getting put on her. I do, from the review session, I do kind of prescribe to the that there's a different kind of mastermind behind it. Like, there's somebody else who's behind it, and it's not purely the Sonozakis, because I think the Sonozakis are too easy a target. I think it's too obvious. It's just too obvious. And if it turns out that it is them, then, I mean, that's slightly disappointing from a mystery standpoint, because they're just way too obvious. Like I said a couple episodes ago, they were pounding that Mion
Mion is the villain, Mion is the villain, Mion is the villain, Mion is the villain. And so because the story up until now was kind of like, Mion did it, Mion, it's probably Mion. I was like, then it's not Mion. It can't be Mion. It has to be something else. So, and then the other wrench that kind of gets thrown in is the twin stuff. I mean, they're twins. They're identical twins, Mion and Shion. So the possibility of a switch out could literally happen at any point in time. Any point in time. And it would be possible to maybe mentally break your sister enough to make her call you the one thing, or I don't know. Actually, this is a mildly interesting thought of like what if they were actually working on it together? Because I mean, why would Mion, whose sole goal this entire time is like punishing these people for leaving the storehouse, whatever, and performing the Watanagashi, why would she leave Shion alive for so long? Because Shion went missing, the second day, or whenever Iwashi-san said it? Like, Shion went missing almost immediately. Why would Mion keep her alive for so long? I mean, her in-game explanation is, I was coming up with this perfect way to torture her and then kill her by killing all her friends in front of her and sort of thing like that. But there would really be no reason. Like, no, there's no point. There is no point. I mean, because then the kills kind of less become about this is a ritual that has to be done and more like style points. And that doesn't really make sense. It kind of makes sense in a way, because I mean, they explained that it's like over time it kind of became a demonstration of power, and killing them in special ways, especially torture horrific ways, kind of added to the level of thing. But it still doesn't make sense that Shion was kept alive so long. So them working together a little bit kind of makes sense. I don't know. It is, man, I don't really know what theory I completely subscribe to, because it being a demon does make a lot of sense. They pushed it a lot, really hard, that it seemed like her personality completely changed, and whatnot. Though the entire catalyst for it apparently was Kiachi didn't. I kind of like Kiachi. Kiachi didn't give me this doll, so because I was sad over that, the demon had the edge to take power and root and do it. But then she said that all the past incidents were also me, which doesn't make any sense. Because it's a contradiction with this demon thing only really started happening after Kiachi didn't give me the doll. What? Okay, so how do you explain the past incidents? What was your lynch point thing for giving into the demon then? But if you gave into the demon then, wouldn't you still be giving into the demon? I mean, what? So that contradiction doesn't make any sense at all. And I feel like the past incidents were definitely not the work of one person. It was a group of people. Most likely a larger part of Hamanazawa than just the Sonozaki family. Just because the Sonozaki family is big and may have possible not so legal ties doesn't mean they're behind everything. The one thing that I really got latched onto was Rika-chan being found with the broken syringe. And that kind of told me a couple of things. Or it kind of made me start thinking down a couple of paths, at least. For one, that when Rika-chan went to Mion's house, she knew full well what she was getting into. Like, she even told Kiachi before that she will handle it. Like, she told Kiachi that, like, don't worry, just keep meowing like normal. I can take care of this. And I think that's full well what she was planning on doing. She didn't go over to Mion's house. Like, I think maybe the soy sauce stuff was a convenient excuse. Like, she could have, like, dumped the soy sauce, made the excuse to Satoko that I need to go over to Mion's house, and her entire plan all along was she was either going to, like, she was probably going to combat Mion and maybe kill Mion herself. But, I mean, Mion is Mion, and demon-possessed Mion is probably even more powerful Mion. So, because it did say that the syringe was crushed. It said that the syringe was destroyed. So I assume that Mion definitely won whatever their skirmish was. Because I feel like Rika was trying to stop it. Rika was trying to play the hero in this story and stop it. And then Satoko was kind of an unfortunate casualty. Because Satoko didn't know what was going on. Satoko was completely oblivious. Satoko had absolutely no idea. And so Satoko calls Mion's house because Rika tells her that, hey, I'm going over to Mion's house to get some soy sauce because, you know, the flyer or whatever. But that was just the cover story for Rika getting over there. And so Satoko calls Mion's house and says, like, hey, where's Rika? Then Mion's like, oh, I got another person to kill. Unfortunate casualty, really. But I think Rika was trying to play the hero and stop it. With the syringe, which I assume is some kind of either kill drug or some sort of thing that would have allowed her to win. Because she couldn't beat Mion in a physical confrontation. No, absolutely no way. She's a small and tiny, cute little girl. That wasn't going to happen. So Mion obviously won the fight, broke the syringe, crushed all her hopes, and killed Rika. Whoops. I definitely think this is a self-contained story. Like, I think the next couple are also kind of self-contained stories because this section of 4 games is what this is going to be. Is called the questions arc, where questions are asked and theories come up. So for the next couple of games, it's still going to be asking questions. The arc after this is the answers arc, which is where we get a lot more concrete answers and direct things or whatever. I've read the Wikipedia page a little bit. Not enough to get spoiled, but just, you know, I browsed it. So, I do think I'm 100% on the side that there is something supernatural going on. In relative terms, I think you can't bring super specific things from Okanikushi over to Watanagashi and have it just be like, yep, that's the reason, because in the last one, they're parallel timelines. They're happening at about the same time, just different circumstances are playing out, sort of thing. And really, like, Onikakushi set up background information, so you had all this general stuff in the back of your head while reading Watanagashi, but it's not concrete in this story. Because, I mean, if it were concrete in this story, then Rena would also be evil in some sort, but Rena was completely fine this entire story. Rena was a normal, regular character, and
a surprisingly astute, smart, and knowledgeable character, but she was normal. She wasn't trying to kill anyone. She wasn't possessed. She didn't have a secret motive. There was none of her... there was actually none of her backstory, which makes me question whether her backstory is completely true, of where she kind of like freaked out and broke all the windows in a thing and attacked a person and had psychological help and stuff. That's all from Oni Kakushi, and none of that was even referenced in this. She was just normal. She was just Rena. My favorite character, Rena. I really like Rena. Not because her voice is fun to do, but I like how her character is nicely layered. I don't really have a definitive overarching theory, but I definitely think there is something supernatural going on here, but not entirely supernatural. Because, I mean, if you just slap demons did it on anything, then that's kind of like saying it was all a dream and none of it really matters because, woo! I think it's partially the work of both. I think there's definitely a human element performing some kind of something, but there's also a supernatural element that maybe is guiding it. Like, the human element doing a lot of the grunt work, maybe a lot of the killing, and then a supernatural element being the mastermind or controllers of it. That's actually a pretty decent one. That it's not one or the other, but it's kind of a fusion of both. I kind of like having that as my theory. Man, that doll. If Kyachi just wasn't a stupid fucking idiot. A stupid idiot. Kyachi is a dumb character. He is a dumb character. Especially in that whole doll scene. Literally, every single one of the girls, but Mion, gets a doll. The guy gives Kyachi the doll. Kyachi is now faced with this conundrum, and I think I know why Kyachi did it. It's because he likes Rena. Kyachi in the games likes Rena. He just doesn't see Mion as that. So why would Kyachi give Rena the doll? Because he likes Rena, and he wants Rena to like him. But unfortunately, the proper action in Watanagashi should have been like, give Mion the doll. She didn't get anything. Why are you an asshole? Which even when I read through the first time, I didn't really even notice. I didn't pay any attention. Just like Kyachi, I was dumb and I didn't really notice that specific fact, or I don't think I did. I'd have to rewatch it since I recorded this, obviously, so I can go check exactly what my reaction to it was. But I think my reaction to it was, just keep reading. I didn't even faze me. And then they brought it back up, and I was like, oh, that's right. He did do that. Wow, Kyachi's a dumb asshole. And okay. This is going to be a slight divergent in tone or in topic, but it's still kind of on the doll thing. How I record these is I record these one chapter at a time, and I generally edit and upload it, and then one at a time kind of thing, because I want to, I go through the story. So there's kind of a couple days. There's either a day to a couple days between when I read chapters. Because if I tried to go all in one go, reading several chapters in a row, my voice would die. My voice was almost dead by the end of the 3-hour 12th episode, so, Jesus. And each of these episodes are about an hour 20 minutes long, so, my voice would die. So when looking for thumbnails for the videos to put up, I found this one that had the doll in it, and it had Kyachi giving the doll to Rena, and I was like, oh, that's cool. That'd work for that.
But what I didn't really pay attention to was in the background, Mion looked upset. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. Why? I actually, even then, I want to say, I noticed that. I didn't notice that. Like, she just looked upset, and I was like, okay, whatever. Kiachi's given the doll to Rena. I could probably use that for an episode, but I've already done the doll episode, so maybe it'll come in play later. And then we get to the episode where Shion explains this whole thing about how he didn't give the doll to Mion or whatever, and it clicked. So I thought I don't even know how that relates to anything. I just thought that was very interesting. So yeah, I've already stated I think it's a fusion of both the demon supernatural stuff and a human element to it. I think there's a fusion of those two going on there, because it'd actually be way too convenient to say it's this or it's that. Like, saying it's demons is way too easy. Like, it's just all demons, and it's like, yeah, demons. It's too easy. Saying it's humans is harder to prove, but it's still kind of not as satisfying, because you have all this supernatural kind of stuff happening. Though a good question is, why is Kiachi targeted by all of these? In Watanagashi, it seems to make sense that he's targeted for entering the storehouse. But this is something that you may have forgotten about. Why was Kiachi the only one who entered the storehouse and didn't hear banging? Every single one of the other characters said they heard banging. Tomotaki-san, Shion, and Takano never really confirmed or denied it, but apparently she was a ghost anyway or something, so it didn't matter. They all heard banging when they went into the storehouse. Or, well, Tomotaki was technically outside of the storehouse the entire time, so he never went inside, but he helped break in, so I guess that's why. But they all heard the banging of, like, some kid jumping on something. And they heard the banging, and they heard banging, and Kiachi didn't. Now, I think when I played that part, it played a, like, bell sound effect. And everyone else was like, we heard this banging. And I was like, what? This banging? There's no banging noise. And I think the banging is kind of a signal. But that obviously makes sense. It's like it's the signal to the people who are going to die. And in both cases, it was... Or in this case, it was definitely Shion, definitely Tomotaki, definitely Takano. But Kiachi, he didn't hear the banging. Why didn't he hear the banging? He didn't hear any form of banging until the 12th episode, where, or the 12th chapter, when he was captured by Mion. At one point, banging was heard. Or something. I think something along those lines. I'm kind of losing where I'm going with this, to be honest with you. Bringing it back around of Kiachi and kind of supernatural noises and shit happening. If you remember in Onikakushi, I think in the, 11th episode or something, Kiachi has this freak out a little bit in the front door of his house where he feels like somebody's behind him, and I think that thing talks to him, and he freaks out and he spins around and there's no one there. Like a ghost was talking to him or something. Something keeps interacting with Kiachi, not entirely in a malevolent way, but there's definitely some kind of presence that goes to Kiachi. Because in Onikakushi, I think the ghost thing was actually trying to warn him about stuff. And in this one, it seems more like... It definitely seems more subtle, like he just didn't hear something when everyone else did. And I think the banging was generated by some sort of ghost or spirit or something, like setting targets on them, maybe. I hope whichever the next one is, because I don't remember what the names are, because they're all big, long Japanese names, and I'm never going to remember those until I say them a million times, like Onikakushi and Watanagashi. I think I hope the next episode focuses on Rika and the Furude family and the whole shrine thing. I hope it does. Maybe wishful thinking. Maybe it'll focus on Sadako. I don't know. Either one would be fine with me. I kind of want one about Rika or Sadako. Because the first one... Well, it wasn't... I guess you could say the first one was focused on Rena, but it was really a combo between Rena and Mion. I mean, Rena seemed more like the main antagonist, because, I mean, she was, like, doing the whole carrying an axe thing and attacking Kiachi a bunch, but, I think it was more of a combo pack between Rena and Mion. And this one was definitely Mion focused, so I hope the next one is either Rika or Sadako. I'm kind of losing where I'm going with this. I don't think I gave any specific definite theory of what I think's going on here, but I gave my thoughts about some stuff, and I definitely want to hear your thoughts. I know in the last video a guy posted a really long theory of his own, which I don't believe a word of. Sorry, guy, because it doesn't make sense and it's full of holes. So, yeah, I definitely think there's something supernatural going on. I don't think it's, yeah. I said all this. I'll just be repeating myself. I am interested to see what the next one says. Like, what the next game is going to be about, what it's going to focus on, because this one was definitely a lot of, let's give you a lot of backstory on the Sonozaki family. Let's give you a lot of backstory on the previous incidents. Let's give you a bit more in-depth into the town and how the town kind of grew and really has this whole discrimination angle to it. And that's why the town bands together. And honestly, if you wanted the one of the easier answers, you could say the entire town is behind it. I still think... Okay. Another thing that bugs me is I can't explain the ending. I can't explain the ending of Watanagashi at all with zombie ghost Mion coming back and killing Kiachi in the bed, or transporting him back to the torture chamber, and it all may or may not have been a hallucination. I can't really explain that. So, if someone wants to post in the comments below helping me work that one out, that would be nice. Because, like, I went, a lot of my thumbnails for my videos I pulled from the anime. And first of all, the anime butchers this story. Like, holy mother, it butchers up this stuff. Like, Onikakushi and Watanagashi are both told in 4 episodes. That's cutting out so much content, it's unbelievable. Like, I am surprised. But I haven't actually, like, sat down and watched it properly. I've skimmed the anime to get my thumbnails. Because, I mean, it's the easiest source of thumbnails, to be honest with you. But, like, in the anime, how they have that scene is that it's Kiachi on the bed, and then Mion's hand reaches up and grabs him, and they don't go anywhere, and he's still on the bed, and then it ends with her about to, like, put the nail through his hand in the hospital bed. But the feeling I got from reading it in the game, it felt like they transported back to the underground torture chamber in some way, and it was just continuing, like Kiachi woke up or a little bit, or just went insane at the very end there. Because like Okanikushi, at the end of Onikakushi, Kiachi went nuts. Kiachi went nuts and tore his throat out. At the end of this one, he kind of seemed like he went nuts again after getting that info dump from Iwashi. It seems like he went crazy again. I could see it playing out that Kiachi went nuts and killed himself in the hospital bed, but just hallucinated that it was Mion doing it, or like corpse demon Mion doing it. But like, I got no answers from the fucking anime, that's for sure, because that just confused me even further. Because I feel like at the end, of this, Kiachi went a bit nuts. He went crazy. Because he was kind of driven to madness, and getting the bomb that, oh hey, these people were dead all along, and you've just been through this traumatic experience where that was definitely Mion who stabbed you in the gut, and then left you laying there at 2 o'clock in the morning, where you lay bleeding out on the lawn until presumably 6 a.m. when your mom or whatever found you. I don't know how Kiachi survived in the first place. He should have been dead from the stab to the gut. To be fair, he should have been dead. Maybe he was dead. Maybe that's what this was saying. Maybe Kiachi was dead from the stab to the gut. Actually, that's an interesting thought. Because it doesn't make sense that he lived. Like, a stab wound to the gut, not treated immediately, I mean, you're gonna bleed out, man. You're just gonna generally bleed out. And he was apparently lying on his front lawn, bleeding out, until the morning when his parents finally woke up and found him. Because they specifically... the interesting thing is they specifically said the time that it was. They said 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 a.m. So, he gets stabbed at 2 a.m. And then they also said, of course in the police report after the fact, not directly between characters, they said in the police report after the fact that their parents didn't come out and find him until the morning after they woke up. So he was laying there for hours with a stab wound that he said that this is what even more gets in, that she twisted the knife. She did internal damage and shit. It wasn't just a clean stab. It was a stab, twist, and pull. She shanked a motherfucker. And Kiachi would have been bleeding out that for hours. He shouldn't be alive by the end of this game. He should have died at the stab wound. He really should have. So, like, maybe he was demon possessed, and that what kept him alive, and then Uwashi-san shows up, and I don't know. I don't know. I can't really explain it. The fact that Kiachi didn't die is kind of the biggest thing that bugs me. Is that he should have been dead from the stab. He really should have. But I've been sitting on this screen talking at you for a long period of time. Like I said, if you have your own theories, I'm going to stop talking before I keep rambling on. I hope you enjoyed the series. Like I said in the end of the 12th episode, whenever the next one comes out, I will definitely be playing it. I definitely will be continuing. And it's really hard. It is really hard to want to do this to want to go into these blind. Because there's the anime to read, or anime to watch, which I could get answers from. There's fucking Wikipedia articles. This game is old. Every single one of them has come out already. I could literally probably go look up the answer right now if I really wanted to, but I want to wait for these re-releases to get my information, so I have to wait for the game to come out, and I want my answers now, man. I want my answers now, but I can't do it. I need to keep it fresh, keep it cool, go into it majority blind. Because you Google search Higurashi when they cry, you're gonna immediately get spoiler pictures of, like, gutted Rika and being killed off Satoko and all sorts of junk. So, hopefully I didn't spoil anyone there, though, I mean, I don't know when or where those would come into play, so whatever. Thank you all for watching. I hope you stick around till next time to watch the next game whenever that comes out. Maybe I'll post an update if I find out when. It's like, oh, the game's coming out here. You can expect me to... Or games coming out then. At this point in time. Not here. That makes no sense because it's on Steam. It's coming out at this point in time, and I'll say, hey, I'm going to be doing this. Look forward to
Everyone coming back and doing all the sorts of stuff. Oh, I like the Rena voice so much.
Anyway. I gotta stop this. See you all next time. From me. Kuckles. I can't end videos at all.